Fox Business Alert, OpenAI and Broadcom injecting some heat into the custom chip market with the debut of OpenAI's first ever AI inference chip. It's dubbed Jalapeno, and the chip is made with Broadcom silicon. And Broadcom shares, they're down 2/3% after a pretty significant run-up over the past, let's call it quarter to date, year to date. The reveal is not doing much for the stock. Maybe that's just the market conditions right now. But the inaugural Jalapeno chip is an AI processor designed to train large language models, in this case ChatGPT, to perform tasks and solve problems. While Broadcom makes the silicon for Jalapeno, the chip giant gets its manufacturing and cooling technology from Flex, a global contract manufacturing company formerly known as Flextronics, which produces the connective tissue that keeps the AI sector running. You want to see a big move quarter to date? Look at Flex, up 126%. This week, Flex snagged a prime listing location. It began trading on the S&P 500, replacing Pool Corp. It comes as Flex is making a big flex in the AI world. It will spin off its cloud and power infrastructure segment into a separate, publicly traded company. That business will be led by current Flex CEO Revathi Advaithi, who joins me now in a Fox Business exclusive. Revathi, you're spinning off what is arguably going to be, if things go as they are, one of, if not the biggest revenue drivers for Flex. What was at the heart of your move to let it fly on its own?
So, Liz, we were in the fortunate position in the last 7 years as we were remaking Flex to be able to build a compute cooling power business within Flex. And it came at a time much before the whole ChatGPT moment, when people weren't thinking about power intensity. And of course, when that happened, the infrastructure spend just skyrocketed. And we were putting all our money, our capital allocation was going towards this business because it had the best returns. So if you look at Flex today, we have two very distinct businesses that are able to stand alone on its own with different capital allocation priorities. The SpinCo is going to be high growth, a lot of spending in technology and power, and Flex has lots of opportunities to still be a $21 billion company investing in healthcare and industrial businesses. So we had the opportunity to create tremendous shareholder value with both the companies, with different management teams and different focus and attention. And Liz, I've done this before. I spun off a business called Nextracker, a few years ago. That's around $17-18 billion today. So we've done this really well, but we've created the right focus for the right businesses to thrive and succeed. And that was the initiative for doing it right now.
Well, better that be the initiative than some activist investor coming in and saying, why aren't you spinning off that division? So I think you get props from Wall Street for jumping ahead of something like that. Looking at the customer base of the SpinCo, which, does it have a name yet?
It has a name, but we're going to announce it in September.
Okay. All right.
I will come back for that. How about that?
I would absolutely love that. But look at these names. So it's a mix of power companies and obviously a lot of chip companies, including AMD and NVIDIA. And you've got all the big hyperscalers, too, Meta, Google Cloud, American Electric Power, Cerebras. So give me a sense of the revenues that could come in eventually from this. I know that we saw $6.6 billion the last time around. What do you expect for it to eventually reach?
Yeah, so we're saying that $6.6 billion is going to grow 70% this year and 80% the next year. So we've already publicly disclosed that it has very high growth numbers moving forward for SpinCo. And it is basically driven by everything from hyperscale to colo to utilities. Anything that's happening in that space end to end is what's driving kind of the SpinCo growth. But Liz, the real story is around the way people are building this technology is very fragmented. They design the chip, then they think about power density, then they think about cooling. And then now we're running out of enough power to run all these data centers. So we built the spin idea around, we're putting all the thermal architecture together. We're going to think about technology end to end so that we're not in this position of chasing the availability of power in the future. And that's what's driving Spin's growth is power technology is going to fundamentally change in the US and globally, because because we don't have enough power to do everything we need to do. And the SpinCo is right at the heart of that technology revolution, and that's what's driving the 70%, 80% growth. In the next few years, we'll be one of the largest electrical players in the industry, and that is something super exciting to be at right now.
Not only I see that helping if this particular trajectory that the AI trend is on, which is very high, straight up, if that continues, that's great. But also in a way, and I don't mean to look negatively upon the future, but I did work in local news where all we do is act cynical. But I mean, if there were to be a big slowdown in this hyper growth of AI, it in a way, having spun that piece of it off, looks good for what's originally left of Flex, because those customers, you're doing contract manufacturing for Nespresso and Procter & Gamble and Eli Lilly, Roche, BMW. So I think that separation could help both sides here.
That's right, because if you think about the spin itself, and if you think about what's happening with the AI trend today, we're having significant spend in terms of AI infrastructure. But then we're also having a generational shift in terms of what's happening with utility and utility power. And Spin's going to be able to take advantage of that when it goes from AI infrastructure to the grid changing pretty significantly over the next decade. So really a high growth environment there, not just because of AI, but also with what's happening in the utility itself. Flex itself, we're one of the largest medical device manufacturers, as an example, with everything that's happening around biologics and GLP and continuous glucose monitors. We're in a great space. In the industrial side, we do a lot of contract manufacturing for the energy infrastructure build out. So we're in that space. So Flex gets to do what we have done in the last 7 years and recreate that again. And then SpinCo gets to go do this, build a brand new industrial company in this power infrastructure space that has high potential. So both are in very exciting places, and we need to sort of spend money in both. That's why we think that timing is great for doing this.
Well, I do want to just quickly ask you, because you are a huge global business. I've been covering you since you were churning out TiVo boxes in Mexico, but clearly you are exposed everywhere. I mean, you're in 32 locations in the Americas, 26 in emerging markets, 23 in Asia. Any tariff implications there?
Absolutely. I would say, Liz, that the tariff geopolitical situation shifted 7, 8 years ago, right? So the whole focus on reshoring, building resiliency, bringing things closer to kind of where you consume it, then tariffs driving it, has really shifted global manufacturing, right? And I have said this publicly before, contract manufacturing used to be about labor arbitrage. It's no longer the issue. It's all about resiliency end to end. And tariffs plays a big role in that. And that has really shifted our customer base pretty significantly into North America, into Europe, where we make things closer to the end customer. And then we also make very complicated things that were being made in Asia that are now being shifted here. So the world has really shifted, not just because of tariffs, but because of this whole focus around resiliency. You want everything made closer to home so you don't run out of key medical device things and things like that. So I would say it has had a pretty significant effect in manufacturing in general, and we've been great beneficiaries of that.
Well, we want to hear the new name, so we'll see you in August. Just kidding. I'm trying to push you ahead of September, but let us know. Revathi, thanks.